everyone, welcome to data analytics and welcome to today's tutorial on Power BI. So this dashboard is simply about the patient waiting list, comparison of the patient waiting list, the current year and the previous year, which contain two types of patients. We have the inpatient, so the data contains two types of the inpatient and the outpatient. So I'm going to explain the different patients. So a patient who stay in the hospital while undergoing treatment is called inpatient. That is, a patient that is on admission is called inpatient. E still stay in the hospital while undergoing treatment. So and then that is the patient, those patients are called inpatient. And patients that are being or that receive medical treatment without being admitted to the hospital are called outpatient or outpatient. So this analysis is just about, the goal of this project is to track the current status of the patient waiting list, analyze their historical yearly trend by comparing them with the current year and the previous year. So we have about how many years? About 5 years. That's 2020, 2018 to 2021. No, it's not up to 5 years. So that we are analyzing. So we have about 4 years that we are analyzing. So I did my analysis based on the total case that was brought, then total specialty by wait list, how many people, what are the type of or was the doctor that they came to see, the what are they, what are their special, what are their specialty. So I did the top 10 specialty by wait list, then the actual wait list, the total wait list by adult and also by child. Then I created some DAX. I created calculated uh, measure to be able to get the average waiting list, the median waiting list, and also the current waiting list and the previous waiting list and the year on year growth for waiting list. So now we can start our analysis now. So I'm going to be clicking on new or Power BI. So click on new. So I'm clicking new. Okay, so now for my dashboard background, so I did the dashboard background. All of you know that, most of you know that I did my dashboard background on PowerPoint. So I'm going to be doing a separate video on that particular. If you want me to do a video on how to do this simple, there's a way, there's a trick to this particular dashboard that I did. So if you want me to do a video on it, you can put it in the comment section. And for the data, I'll put the data description, the link description to where you can get the data from. So I'm going to be introducing, the first thing that I'm going to be doing now is to get the data. I'll get the data for you to follow up. You can actually, you can what's it called, you can get the data link from the video description. So now I'm going to be getting the data. I'll get the data, then click on get data, click on more because I want to use a folder connector for this particular. So this is the first time I'll be using this. So I'm using a folder connection for this. Folder connection, click on folder connection, then click on browse through. So now I'm going to be looking for where this particular data is. So I'll click on this PC, then download. So make sure you know where this is so that you will not be having issue while doing that. So this is data mapping, and then for this data mapping we have I told you, the inpatient and the outpatient. So I'm going to be clicking the inpatient first, then click OK. So now this is the data. So I'm going to be combine, because we are using a folder, that's why you are seeing combine, load, transform. So for this I'm going to be using combine and transform. I'm going to be using so that I'll be able to transform my data in Power Query Editor. So I will click OK, and the data will be loaded to Power Query Editor. Now the next thing that I'm going to be doing again, okay, still loading. So now we have my data into Power Query Editor. So the reason why we are seeing all of this is because we are using folder, and it has actually created some other queries. So but no need to worry that you don't need to worry about all those queries. So again, click on new resource to bring in my, click on more, the folder. I want to bring the outpatient folder. Connect, then click browse through. Okay, is in download. Then look for the data I'm mapping. So I'll click this, then I'll click on the outpatient. Click on the outpatient, then combine and transform. So click OK. So now, like I said, you don't need to worry about yourself about all of this. So we are going to be focusing on this inpatient and the outpatient. That's what our focus. Now I want this data. So we have this data, inpatient then outpatient, but I want it to be in a single worksheet, like in a single data table. I want it to be in a single table, and to do that I will have to use append function. And for us to use this append function, they must have the same column name, they must have the same number, the same column number. So what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be checking the or each of the, what's it called, for each of the data. I'll check their first their column header. So this column header, I want to remove some of this. I want to remove this, all this uh underscore and special character that is in between the column header. So I want to remove that. So I have this too. So I'm removing this. Okay, so now I do the same thing for inpatient or data. I'm going to be doing the same thing for that too. Okay, case type. So now that we are done with both, now I need to check. If you check this inpatient, you will see that we have specialty name, and in outpatient we have specialty. We can see there is a difference between the. So now I need to change this to what is in outpatient, which is specialty, so that will not be having double column. Specialty. Then for this inpatient we have a case type, and we don't have it for inpatient, we don't have it for outpatient. So that this particular column, we don't have it for outpatient, so we need to create an additional column in outpatient for case type. And to do that, all we need to do is to go to column, or what's it called, go to add column, then custom column. Click on custom column. Once you click on custom column, it will bring this particular window, and then this will be case type. So this will be case type. So now all I need to do here now is to just equals to, because they are all outpatient, so I'll just input outpatient for all of them. So that's what I'll just write there. Their case type is their outpatient, so I'll just input that, then click OK. So we have a case type there now, but I need to move it to where it is in this particular place. So the case type is after specialty in inpatient, so I will just move it to, highlight it, then move it to this place, which is after specialty. So now we have everything here now. So this, we have the same thing that is in outpatient and that is in inpatient. So the next thing to do now is to append the table for us to be able to have a single table. And to do that now, we click on append. So I'm going to go to O, click on any of the table, go to O, then click on append query as new. Once you click on append query as new, and then this is the first table, inpatient, what will be your next table? Outpatient. So now I'm just appending to query to table, then I will click this. So now this is our new data. So I can call this, let's say, health data now, or you can call it all data. So now I have all the data here now, both the new data and the what's it called, old data. So now you can delete this. I don't think I need this. Remove this if it's adding an additional column to your own. So now the next thing for me now is to close and apply, close and apply, to have it in our so now it's still loading. So we have our data here, then we have this inpatient and outpatient, but you can leave it in case you don't want to use it. But I'll go to this model view, I'll go to the model view to hide it. I don't want to use it and I don't want to delete it. I will just hide it in the report view, hide everything. Just click here, then click on hide. So I've already hide everything now. So I'm going back to the report view. So now you can see now that I only have my health data. Now it's time for me to start calculating, to create some method that I need to use. So now I need to create, I like to put all my method into a particular place. So I'm going to click enter data, click on enter data, then click on all measured, then click load. So in creating this method is just for us to have a dynamic dashboard, so to be able to have a dynamic dashboard. That's so now I can now start creating my method. So the first method that I need to create is the current year. So I need to create current year for this. So to get my current year for the total, so I'm going to click on this measure, right click on it, then click new measure. So it will bring it here, and I'll write CY. That's the current year waiting list or wait list, equals to, I will use my calculate function for me to be able to filter out, calculate sum, then sum. Okay, so some health data, I'm going to be using total, then close the bracket, then I'm going to be using the date for the total. Okay, let me just introduce archive. So this date, you can just click on date, then close the bracket, equals, no, equals to, because I want to get the maximum there, this is the current year, then your date again. So my date, so I have the date for both. Okay, you can just click on health data so that it will bring us the date for that, then close this. So now let's check what we created so that we know that is correct. So I'm going to be using card for that, then let's check it. Okay, that's correct. Okay, in case I realized that when I was doing it I had an error. There was an error because you might not, it's because I've done this before. Current waiting list, I'm having error here. Let's check for my error. There's an error with my, let me check, here. Current with the calculate F total, F data, let's check. Let me just copy this because I realized I had a error. Then I will try and explain how you can. I will explain it. Let me remove it again. Okay, I don't think we have an error, but it's not giving me the same thing here. Something is wrong, or okay, maybe the data, it might be the data, but let's continue. It might be the data, but this is, I think this is the current, this is the, so let me check, I need to check further. So I'm trying to check something to be sure. Okay, so this is correct, this is correct, so I know this is correct. If you are having whatever figure that you are having is actually correct, so I know where this, why the number is changing from my end. I know why it's changing. So whatever figure that you are having, if you're having 704,000, is actually correct. So now, assuming that you are doing your data and you have error, it's giving you error, all you need to do, it might be the date, because I realized I did not change, maybe the data, maybe your date did not change. Just go to your date type, go to data view, click on this, and then your data, change it to date format. It's not even in date format. My date is not in date format, so I will still have error if I'm using it. So change it to date format. Good. Then let's go back. You can see now it has changed. So we are having So it was because we didn't change it to date format. So this is, so we've changed it to date format now. So sometimes you might have error like that, so just change it to date format. I didn't change, I should have changed it while doing the analysis. So now we've created that. So now the next thing that we need to do now is to create our CY. So again, click on this, and then click this. So I will just go and copy and paste that, and I will explain. I'll copy this, I will explain. Okay, so this is, so the only difference here is you are going to introduce your e date. That's the only difference. You are going to be introducing your e-day. And what e-days do, what it does is that is to help us to move a particular month related to that current month provided in the function, and then you had your minus 12. So for us to be able to navigate to the same month in the py, which is the previous year, that is the reason for adding the minus 12. That is, we are going 12 months before the current year. So that's what simply means. So we are going to also close that, then we add it to, click this and add it to, so it's still loading, then add this to this. So we have our py. See, so now our year on year growth, so I'm going to copy that again. So for us to, so I'm moving faster, so I'll just copy this. Okay, okay, copy this, then go back to this place, then create new measure. So I'm going to create a new measure for that, then just copy this. So for this, I will change it to percentage. I'm changing it to percentage. So I'm going to change this to just this. So I will just add this to it too. So I'm going to be adding this. So this has been added. So I've created all this now. I've created them. So now the next thing that I need to do now, so let's go back to my chart. So this particular chart, so for this average, I need to create the average and also the median for me to be able to, or I need to create a new table for that, and to be able to also do that, I'll create a calculated table. So I'm going to be enter data, click on enter data, then for my first column I will name it as, okay, let me just name it as calculation calculated calculated field. So the first one will be average. Okay, the second one will be median. So I'm going to load it. Okay, so I need to rename the name table. I'm going to rename the table. Let me rename the table. I could have renamed it there. So right click and rename the table as, let's say maybe car feed. That's calculated feed. Or I can just rename it full name, or you can name it calculation. So let's leave it as calculation. So now I need to create what's it called? I need to create another measure to be able to interact between the switch between to be able to interact this to be able to interact between this average. So I need to create a measure for this button for us to be able to interact with it. So let me so assuming I have this. Okay, where's our slicer? I have this slicer, then I put this calculated feed, and I want to interact between them. So I will have to create a measure for that. So and then I'm going to be switching between the two buttons. So I need to create a separate measure for that. So I will just click again, come to my this new measure. Then okay, before we do that, so let me show you something before we do that. So I need to create a average waiting lift and median waiting width. So I'll just click new measure, average waiting lift equals to, okay, let's say average waiting list equals to average of okay, average of all the total for this. So let me just write total for this. Then the median waiting list. Again, I will click on new measure. Then median waiting list equals to median of all the total waiting list. So now so now assuming I have this, okay, a new let me create a new card. Then I have my average, I have median median and my average. I want to be switching between these two. I need to be switching between them. Or okay, let's say we are creating we created a part. You will see the reason why I'm doing this. So let me explain quickly. Like I want to be switching. So if I switch this now, it's giving me the average of all this. So if I switch to this, it will give me the median of all this. So this is the reason why we need to create a new calculated feed for that. So we are going to be using switch function for that. So I'm going to be clicking on new measured again, new measured. Then I will click average dot median wait list equals to switch, introduce your switch, return different result depending on the value of an expression. You can see that's what it means. Then value, I have to put the values. So make sure you are clicking values, not values. So the values of calculation, so I'm using my calculation now, my calculation, remember, my calculation, that's what I'm using. Calculation, if my calculated field, calculation, the calculated field is, if it is equals to, okay, comma, then okay, I need to close the bracket, comma, equals to, if it is equals to average, remember, make sure you are writing the same way it is there, average, close the bracket, then sorry, when I say closing, use your quotation again, then introduce this bracket, then average, I'm going to be using this average waiting list, let it be average waiting list. Why is it not clicking? A average, you are still writing, no, don't close yet, then command again, then median again, if it is median, write it the same way it is there, median, comma, or median waiting list, click this, then close the bracket, close the bracket. So now if I, instead of using this, let me remove this. So if I put this here now, if I click this, it will give me median, if I put this, it will give me average. Can you see now? So that's the reason why I actually do that. So now let's put it here. We can now start creating our chart. So let me bring my background dashboard. So I'm going to bring in my background dashboard. Okay, I think this is it. Open it, then change this to fit, reduce the transparency to 0. So I have my background dashboard. So now the first thing, I've already calculated this, I've already done this, just for me to change the some things there. I'm going to be changing something. So again, come to this list, my call out value. Okay, before my call out value, let me remove the feed, the fill, good, then go back to my call out value. I'm changing it to this, then I'll change it. Okay, let me leave it this way. I think I like it, I prefer it this way. Then it will, so you can change it to color. So now I need to check the color code I use, because there's a particular color code I use. I like to use color code, check color code online. So I need to check that, the color code that I use. So I'm going to be clicking this, copy the color code and use it here. So I'll just click more color, then copy it, put it here again. Then for my labeling, I'll change it to white, then change it to my favorites. So now I'm going to be changing this to bring it to the front. Okay, should we change this? Okay, can change it to 30. Let's see, good. Or let's see, 35. If 35 is not too good. Okay, so what else can we do here? What else can we do here? So again, okay, so the line chart, the borderline, Let me see what we can change the borderline to fit into our what's it called, or we can remove the borderline. So I actually remove the borderline. So let me remove it instead of changing it to any color. Let's remove it. Good. So now I'll copy this, paste, bring it here. Then I'm going to be removing everything there. So I can just write it here. So this will be my total case. So I'll change this and I will have case type. So I'm going to be changing it to count, so it will count all the total case. So I'll go back here, my call out value, display unit to 1000. I'll change it to 1000, then reduce this to this. Okay, so for this I can still increase this. Let's increase it to about 40. Okay, so come back to this and write total case, total case type. So now we have this, here. So now the next thing that I need to do now, let's check. So let's do our top 10 specialists by wait list. Top 10 specialists by wait list. So let's see what you need to do here. Our top 10 specialists by list, that's the specially and sum of total. So and that's total. So I'll just bring a bar chart here, then put it here, then specialist, I'll put it at the y-axis, then total at the x-axis. So remember I said top 10, so I'm going to be adding a filter. Come right here, come to this top, then click on basic filtering, click on top, then 10. Then I'm going to be adding my total here, apply filter. So these are my top 10 specialists. So I'm going to format this particular. First, remove this. Okay, so now for the title I'll just change this to top 10 speciality. Abi, should we write specialist? Specialty by wait list. So I'll put it here again, change this to I'm going to change it to black. We can reduce this. Then we can now start formatting order. For my x-axis, remove everything, then y-axis, remove the title only, then this to my favorite font, change it to black, and put it, expand it. So I need to check the color code for the bar that I use. So I'm going to click on this, then go to my bar, copy the color code, then go back to this place. Okay, so check your degree line. Okay, it's on there. Bar, more color with the color code. Good. So what is our data label? So we just need to, let's say inside there, values, display in, let's say no. So for this total, I'll come right here, put this comma separator. Then what else? Change the front. So we are getting there. Okay, this is okay. So I want to see my data label. I want to see what I use to be sure. Okay, inside end. Okay, I put it inside end, but it's actually inside end, so why are we having this? Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Okay, so we are good to go with this. So now the next one is this. The next one is this. So I use the multi-chart for that. I use multi-charts for that. That's adult, child, whether they are adults, we want to know the total adult. So this is the multi-chart, multi-row card. I mean, that's what I use. So I want to know how many adults and child are in total wait list. So yeah, I will just change this to wait list. What does it mean total? Okay, let's check. Hmm. Okay, we are having some blank here. So I'll just come right there, select everything, then just highlight just the adult and child. That's what I want to analyze. So I'll come to this place again, remove this category. Let me see. Okay, remove the category. We don't need it. Call out value. Yes, this is where. Okay, so let's use more green color to use this. Okay, I think I use something this bright. This. Let's use this. Then change this to this. Then the card, we are changing it to this. Then change this to this. I don't even need the accent bar. So we can have it this way. Okay, we can actually put our title. Mm, add title, let's see. Let's say wait list category. or total wait list. So we are good to go with that. So now the next thing is to create our what's it called, our line chart. That's the yearly line chart. To create that, so we bring this line chart here, then total, and then year. Where's the year? So I'm going to be just having the year only. You can add the month if you want to. You can add the month. So I'm going to format this also. Go to general, remove the background. Oh, I'm not thinking that. Remove background, then let's say yearly wait list or waiting list. Change it to, so we can now format it. The y-axis, I don't need it. Then the x-axis, we don't need the title. So just make sure that everything fits into this. So let's format the line. So color, I'll change the color to this, or this. I'll change it to this. I'll change this to smooth line. Then what else? I will add marker. Then I will add data label. For my data label, the value, I'm going to be changing the value to no. Good. Then change the color to this. Can increase the color, or you can change it. Let's change the color to a brighter. Let's change to this pop out way. Then our marker, we can actually change our marker. Let's change it to, let's change the color. I would like to change the color to this. Let's change to this. Good. So now the next thing now is for us to calculate, to create this last three charts. So the first one is this average media by K star. So I'm going to be using this average media now. So I'm going to be introducing first. Okay, I'm here to finish my line chart. I'm seeing some grid line. I don't want to see the grid line. Remove the grid line. So now I'm going to be clicking donut chart, put it here first. That's case type by average waiting list. So now let's format it. First, remove the background, then this, change this to this. So now let's format the rest. Slicer, let me change this to this. Let me change this to this. Then I'll change this to this. Good. Legend. Remove the legend title. So for this legend, I'm going to put in it at bottom type. So we can also format it. Okay, using this. Okay, so for our data type, let's go to our data type. We only need the percentage of total. Also, you can format it to 0. So now, let's just change it to this. So now we have this now. So if I click, this is showing average now. If I it is show, this is average, this is media. Can you see the reason for this now? So now let's do the next one, which is the average measured by age profile. So I'm going to be using this age profile, then this. So again, let's format it. Movie line, remove title. So for this also, I need to remove the blank. So there is no point adding the blank there since they don't have. So for my y-axis, I'm going to be removing value and everything. Title also. So what else? Add data label. So just format it to your own format, custom format. So for my column, change the color to this, then the title, put it at the front, then change this, do your own custom format. Okay, so now we are good to go with this. Now the next one, which is the last one here, the last chart, is average within it by time band. So I'm going to be introducing this to using this. I can just copy this, put it here. Let me just put this here first. I'm going to be formatting that later. So now by time band, I'll just put this time band. So I have this here. Again, I'm going to be removing the okay, I understand that. So select this, remove this. So now if you check this time band, you see that we're having 18 months, we are having a lot of double. So I need to go back to my transform data. I should have done that. I actually forgot. So I'll go back to my transform data to quickly clean that. Go to earth data, then time band, first I need to trim it. Right click and click on transform, then trim. It remove unnecessary page there. So then if you see now, we are having 18 plus, is it time bar? No, yeah, it's time bar. So first remove the unnecessary, trim and remove the unnecessary color. You can see now unnecessary space. If you see, we are having 18 plus, then if you load more, you see we are having 18 plus, then 18 plus month. So I'm going to be changing 18 plus month to 18 months plus. So okay, so you just right click and then replace value, replace value. Then like I said, we are having 18 months to, let's see, 18 plus, 18 plus months to 18 months. So let's check again if you have corrected it. Aha, we've not. So we want to correct this 18 months plus to 18 plus months. So 18 months plus, replace value again. So we are having some 18 plus months. So it's very close to 18 months. I just hope I'm writing the same thing, plus, so that it will not be duplicating. That's the actual reason why we're actually doing. So we see that 18 plus 1 and 18 months plus, they are the same. So I don't want it to be having duplicate. I still don't get this 18 months plus 18 plus months. So we will change this to this. We change this 18 plus month to 18 months plus. 18 plus months to 18 months plus. Let's check it now. It should have changed. Okay, so now we are good to go. Now we can go and close and apply. Go back to our dashboard. So it's still loading. So we have it here now. So now we can now have we formatted it. Let's check. Remove the background, because I can see that I'm still seeing the background. So now for this our, oh, for this our slicer here, we need to put it here. Where is it? Where's our slicer? Okay, this is it here. So now I'll just format this slicer, come right here, layout, or the column to be 1. So I'm just going to fit in here, then go to this place, remove the title, then remove the background. Then what else are we going to do? Shape is okay, slicer setting. Okay, let's say first selection. So if I select this now, it will give me median. If I select it will give me average, just for this, because we are using the value for this place. So again, go to my layout again. There's something I need to do in that layout. Good. So now I have this here now. My slicer value, call out value. So for the default, I'm going to change it to, okay, let's change it to the, then for the select, let's change it to, let's change it to this. No. So if I change this, if I change this, okay. So now we are good to go. So now I'm going to copy this slicer again, and I'll bring it up here. But this time around, I'm going to be using case type for that. Case type, because I want to be having, so I will just change the color to, I'll change the setting. No force, not this. So now I will select this and click on edit interaction. I don't want this to interact with this, and I don't want it to interact with this, because it's the same thing. So it's just be interacting with only that. Select. So now you can see now that our dashboard is ready, and I believe you have learned one or two things. You've learned how to use a conditional format, a dax, different dax. You've learned how to use different dax, and also how to use different functions in Power BI. You can see that our dashboard is ready, and you can publish it, you can share it. Kindly give me your feedback in the comment section. Give me your feedback, share, comment, like this post, and most importantly, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and also click the notification button to receive updates on all the tutorial that I share every week. See you next week. Bye.